أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear friends, welcome to Idea Foundation Forum. Idea Foundation, under its Quranic research program, has started first serial program under the title Allah, Quran and Insan. In the last program, Part 6 of Man versus Iblis, we discussed prophetic mission with reference to Hazrat Moses. Today, we will continue our discussion on Part 7 of Man versus Iblis, Clash of Good and Evil, with reference to prophetic mission of Hazrat Jesus Christ. The liberation of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt in the 13th century BC under the leadership of Hazrat Moses let them move to Judea, where they found opportunity to gradually build the kingdom of Judah. This golden era of Jewish history started waning with the expansionist moves of the Babylonian Empire. After the Battle of Carchemish in 605 BC, king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, besieged Jerusalem, which was finally subjugated by the Babylonian, and a large number of Israelites, including the royal family, were made captive and exiled to Babylonian kingdom. However, after the fall of Babylon to the Persian king Cyrus the Great in 535 BC, exiled Israelites were permitted to return to Judah. According to biblical book of Ezra, construction of Second Temple in Jerusalem began around 537 BC. All these events are considered significant in Jewish history and culture and had a far-reaching impact on the development of Judaism. Starting from the fall of Jerusalem in 605 BC, through the life of Jesus, the land of Judea remained under control with varying degrees of the colonial powers, namely Babylon, Persia, Greece, Empire of Alexander, and Hellenistic, and the Roman Empire. A great change in the political map of the Middle East came when Alexander the Great, who conquered the Persian Empire in 334 BC, and then Africa and Palestine as well. Whole peoples and cultures mentioned in the Holy Scriptures disappeared because of his conquest. Alexander, however, died just a few years after these conquests at the age of 32. After a struggle, his empire was divided among his four strongest generals, the two who are of significance to Palestine were Ptolemy in Egypt and Seleucids in Syria. Their successors are known to history as the Ptolemies and the Seleucids. At first, the Egyptian Ptolemies ruled Palestine. Alexandria of Egypt became a prominent city and a center of Greek culture. The Greek influence of the Egyptian Ptolemies produced a division among Jews. Some turned Hellenized and became more Greek culturally and religiously, adopting syncretistic approach. They were called Sadducees. The other group of Ptolemies maintained its Hebraic traditions and culture. They were known as Pharisees. The Egyptian Ptolemies ruled Palestine for several generations, but after 204 BC, power shifted to Syria and its Seleucid rulers. Antiochus the Great took over control of Palestine. His son, Antiochus Epiphanes, decided to abolish Hebraic traditionalism, stamping out Jewish religion and adopt Hellenization for greater integration of his empire. He ordered that idols be placed in the temple at Jerusalem. Now you can imagine how the Jewish religion was corrupted. The Jewish opposition, led by Judas Maccabeus, defeated these Seleucids in the first instance. However, for sustainability, the Maccabees made a fateful decision in appealing to Rome for help. When, after a century of rule, the Maccabees were weakened by infighting and political corruption, the Roman Pompey conquered both the remnants of the Seleucids Empire and Palestine. A few years later, Herod the Great took over in 37 BC and consolidated his power by killing all potential political rivals, including the Maccabees, and played politics shrewdly enough to be given the title of the king by the permission of Rome. Thus, the Roman era lasted till the arrival of the Muslims. Before the birth of Prophet Jesus, Herod the Great had risen to power by political treachery and murder of his rivals. He was an evil genius. He gained acceptance of the Jews by feigning conversion to their faith and by a major reconstruction of the Temple of Jerusalem. Religious life centered on the powerful priesthood represented by four divergent sects, a very long pause of prophetic mission, and consecutive rule of foreign colonial powers for about 6 centuries had caused the Mosaic religion of the Moses, corrupted significantly. Torah comprises of 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But original text of Torah did not exist anymore. Thus, it had created a reliance on rabbinical teachings of the law so that these traditions of the elders and commandments of men became paramount. The prophet Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem of Judea, Jerusalem, in the last days of Herod's kingship. Besides the socio-political disorder within the state and beyond as well, the environment turned further chaotic when Herod learned about a prophecy narrated by some stargazers that they had seen a rising bright star that indicated a boy had born at Bethlehem who would be the king of the Jews. Herod turned psychic and reacted violently to this news. He sent a team of priests to Bethlehem with the direction to kill the blessed boy. When Herod felt that he had been deceived, he was furious and ordered to kill all the children in Bethlehem and surroundings who were 2 years of age or less. In the past as well, he had persecuted all such family members and notables who could endanger his kingship. Surah Al-Imran tells that the Jews earned the wrath of Allah because they disbelieved in the verses of Allah and killed the prophets without right, and they were habitual transgressors. According to the Bible, the Jews considered John a prophet and one of the most righteous men of their community. But when he criticized Herod for his evil ways, he was not tolerated. He was first sent to prison and then beheaded on the demand of Herod's beloved, a dancing girl. The society of Judea was extremely divided in three distinct classes. The governing elites, headed by Herod, held the absolute power. Their rule was based on intriguing intelligence, terror, and eliminating strategies. Economic resources were completely concentrated with the ruling elite and the priesthood. The temple high priesthood was under the control of the Jewish elite called liberal Sadducees. Annas and his son-in-law Caiaphas were the leaders of these notorious elites who presided over the trial of Hazrat Jesus. Vast majority of population was economically downtrodden. More than 10 types of taxes were imposed on the population. Despite prohibition of usury or interest in the Jewish religion, it had become major tool of economic exploitation and concentration of wealth in a few hands. The Jewish religion, based on the Moses commandments, had lost in obscurity. Judaism, based on dogmas suiting to the elite's interest, had taken the acceptance of priesthood of the temple. Demise of Herod and power struggle among his sons and ultimate transfer of power to the Pilate, appointed by the Roman emperor as his agent, signifying the direct rule of Romans, the dogmatic stronghold of the temple priesthood, and concentration of wealth and power in a few hands made it almost impossible to raise a voice against the prevailing disbelief, the elitist, despotic, and materialistic interests. The majority of the common people, tired of socio-political and economic oppression, instead of coming to support the call of Prophet Jesus Christ for the revival of the Moses religion of oneness of Allah, justice, and common well-being of the community, they preferred to remain silent. Following the tradition of history, a huge majority of the people could believe in the divine birth of Prophet Jesus and divinity of his message, but they were frightened of the atrocities of the ruling elite and the priesthood. The ruling elite and priesthood wanted to maintain the status quo for the protection of their elitist rule, aristocratic control, and complete hold on the economic resources. For that, politico-religious elite had enough material might to keep silent the vast, frightened, and oppressive majority and curb the disorganized and resourceless minority of the people supporting the message of Prophet Jesus Christ. Let us see how the Quran sheds light on the prophetic mission of Prophet Jesus Christ. The life and mission of Prophet Jesus Christ is mentioned in the Quran at various places. However, detailed discussion is made in Surah Baqarah, Surah Al Imran, Surah An-Nisa, Surah Al-Ma'idah, Surah Maryam, Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah Zukhruf, Surah Al-Hadid, Surah As-Saf. So, in view of the relevance to our subject, clash of legacies of good and evil, we will quote here only a few ayat for better understanding of the subject matter. In the first instance, it needs to be noticed that the religion of Prophet Jesus Christ, Christianity, was not a new religion. It was the renewal of the religion of Prophet Moses and Prophet Abraham. Ayat 50 and 51 of Surah Al Imran say, and I have come, Hazrat Jesus, and I have come confirming what was before me of the Torah, whatsoever was given in the Torah, and to make lawful for you some of what was forbidden to you. And I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. So fear Allah and obey me. Indeed, Allah is my Lord and your Lord. So worship Him. That is the straight path. Three fundamentals of Abrahamic religions are repeated here. One, supreme sovereignty and authority exclusively belong to Allah, and all the social and moral systems should be built entirely on it. Two, as a representative of Allah, every prophet must be obeyed unconditionally. Three, no one except Allah is entitled to prescribe laws and regulations for the mankind. So, dear friends, renewal of the divine message had become necessity as the originality of the divine message revealed to Prophet Moses had been corrupted with the additions and deletions with the passage of time to suit the mindset of the ruling elite and the priesthood. Thus, it had created a reliance on rabbinical teachings on the law so that these traditions of the elders and commandments of men became paramount, providing the rationale to the existing elitist and despotic approach in governance, materialist and individualistic criteria for economic exploitation, determinism, and self-assumed divinity of the clergy for the continuation of powerful temple priesthood and their socio-ethical subjugation of the masses. The ruling elite, priesthood, and huge majority of frightened people were determined to keep socio-economic and political status quo unchallenged. It was the environment Prophet Jesus Christ was sent to reform the society towards the cause of Allah. His birth without a father and his proclamation of prophethood just at his birth was a great miracle to convince the people towards the righteous path. But they tried hard to obscure the truth, to save their exploitative and sinful ways of life. When Hazrat Maryam came up to public with the newborn child and people asked about his father, Prophet Jesus himself spoke to them when he was of only a few hours. As Surah Maryam describes, Kala inni Abdullahi adani al-kitaba wa ja'alani nabiyya. Jesus said, indeed, I am the servant of Allah. He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet. He further said, وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا. And He has made me blessed whenever I am and has enjoined upon me prayer and zakah as long as I remain alive. Then he further said, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. And made me dutiful to my mother, Allah, and made me dutiful to my mother, and He has not made me a wretched tyrant. So prophetic mission assigned to Prophet Jesus was the same as of Prophet Abraham and Prophet Moses. The same objective was reinforced to establish the oneness of Allah and His sovereignty over all the matters of the man and the universe and discipline the society on the principles of justice and equity to ensure peace, progressivity, and collective well being of the humanity. It was, in fact, a great movement against the existing socio-economic and political exploitation of the mankind established through elitist, despotic, and individualistic mindset employing the tools of materialism, determinism, and divisionism. Through the miraculous birth of Prophet Jesus, Allah intended to punish the children of Israel for their continuous wicked ways and evil deeds. Selection of a pious virgin girl for the birth of Prophet Jesus without father was a clear message of Allah's absolute authority on the affairs of the mankind and rejection of false claims of superiority of the temple priesthood. Surah Nisa describes the habitual nature of the Jews in offending the Allah's intentions time and again. Here too, instead of supporting Prophet Jesus in his efforts to revive and purify their religion in line with the traditions of the Prophet Abraham and Prophet Moses, the politico-religious elite, despite finding the evident proof of the truth of Prophet Jesus' words, made false and malicious pronouncements to tarnish the piety of Hazrat Maryam and thereby defying the prophethood of Hazrat Jesus. To save status quo of their vested interests, they even crucified Prophet Jesus. To them, the existence of Hazrat Jesus was sure to demolish the idols of despotism, elitism, materialism, individualism, terror, and tyranny, and to replace these evils with justice, equity, peace, prosperity, and freedom, pursuing the cause of Allah and the laws of nature. Love of God and love of neighbor. Now listen, what were the commandments and sayings of Hazrat Christ? Love of God and love of neighbor. Caring and sharing. No usury on debts. God's goal is equality, and give away unrighteous wealth were the strategic tools of the Prophet Jesus to establish equity, peace, and prosperity, which had become pain in the neck of the ruling elite. The politico-religious elite had crucified and killed Prophet Jesus at their account, but Allah kept his promise and saved him just as he saved Prophet Abraham from the rising flames of fire and saved Prophet Moses from the rising waves of the sea. Ayat 157 and 158 of Surah An-Nisa describe this reality as, and for their saying, indeed we have killed the Messiah Jesus, the son of Mary, the messenger of Allah, and they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but some other one, but another was made to resemble him to them. And indeed, those who differ over it are in doubt about it. They have no knowledge of it except for certain. Rather, Allah raised him to himself, and ever is Allah exalted in might and wise. In fact, it was the promise materialized that Allah had made at the birth of Prophet Jesus as described in Ayat 33 of Surah Maryam. Listen. Wassalamu alayya yawma wulidtu wa yawma amutu wa yawma ub'asu hayya. And peace is on me the day I was born and the day I will die and the day I am raised alive. Dear friends, we stop our discussion here today. These programs are recorded both in Urdu and English. Their videos can be watched on ideafoundation.com.pk web or its YouTube channel and Facebook. Their written versions are also available on the Idea Foundation's website. Please note code number of this program, Idea 1A R3 Part 7. All friends are requested to subscribe the Foundation's YouTube web channel for the benefit of this noble cause. Thank you very much, dear friends, for your participation and patient listening. Allah Hafiz.